Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned In Pearl, and we are here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy inside of self, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our interactions with others, in our external environment. And if we want to see things change, we do need to shift and change the energy within. But hopefully my readings help you to shift into a state where you are no longer emotionally dependent upon seeing your reality change. That is where the magic happens. And speaking of magic, I have just returned from my trip to Salem. It was very exhausting, but a lot of fun. I got to see my son. He took me out to eat. I will forgive him that he took me to the Olive Garden. It's fine, but it was very nice of him to do that. And also I got to go to my beloved Cauldron Black store, which is located in Salem. And it's a very authentic, high vibing place. I really like that store. And I actually went to a new store too that was across the way from it that I really liked as well. But the name of it is slipping my mind. I got some supplies. I am highly recommending, if you have never burned dried rosemary before, let me tell you what, it is an incredible smelling experience. And for all my stregas out there or Italian witches, very in line with our kitchen witchery practices, and not endangered the way that white sage is endangered, and also not exclusive to indigenous North American people, but something that can be practiced by any of us of European descent without feeling like you're doing something silly that's not really a part of your culture, if you catch my drift, for those of you that are savvy to that. Okay, I wanted to say I have decided to extend the Salem sale. I don't think I gave enough time for it to actually be taken advantage of. And I just wanted to give you a chance, if you did not have a chance, to take that $111 off of the Intuitive Guidance Call package. That is still available. Use the code SALEM111. And as of November, probably the first week of November, like the 4th, 5th, 6th, somewhere in there, my services will not be the same. So definitely take advantage of this while you still can. I am going to be introducing sound healing course, and that is all going to be revealed to you very soon. So I'll be using my voice and some soothing tones, and it will be specifically catered to your needs. We'll do a little bit of intuitive guidance at the beginning of the session, and then using that intuitive guidance, I will offer you some sound healing, which I'm very excited to start doing. So that's all coming up in November. For me, October 31st, or the Feast of Samhain in general, heralds the end of the year. My new year as a witch begins on November 1st. And it's really interesting because the position that I decided to take is also beginning that first week of November. So it's going to be a completely new feel, a new vibe around here. But I will still be bringing you readings, so don't worry. I will still be doing my readings at least twice a week. At least I hope so. Okay, so let us get started. Remember, masculine energy can represent another person in your life, but it's much more effective if you allow masculine energy to be a reflection of your own inner energy and understand your own inner energy and why you might be attracting somebody who has this energy into your life, specifically for this general week ahead reading where we're just looking at the general energy, and it can be applied to your career, finance, your family relationships, romantic relationships, anything that you feel it is resonating for. It's also going to determine how those different areas of your life are going to feel during the week. And that's why we call it the general energy. All right, so for the divine masculine, we are using the Horror Tarot for 'tis the season vibes, and we're getting the Ace of Pentacles. And I do love that this character also has their nails done, so I love that. And then for the feminine energy, we're using the Disney Villains Tarot, and we're getting also pentacle energy here with the 9 of Coins. And Do you know, I have never looked up what this is supposed to be. I have always, in my mind, whenever I have seen this card, I have assumed that it was like the fur on a coat or something. But there's this stream of water going through there, or this blue, I mean, that could be water, and I'm just curious. It doesn't say. But I've just always assumed it was like like a Disney king's robe, like the fur, you know what I'm talking about? But now when I saw it today, I was like, oh, actually, it really looks like water. So that's interesting. Okay, so divine masculine energy here with the Ace of Pentacles. So overall this week, the mind, the intellect, action, the material is reflecting this fresh energy. Like, it's because we've got an ace, so we're starting something. This can often represent a seed being planted that's going to grow into something. Interesting that with this ace and the 9, we get a sense of completion with the 10 of Pentacles here. So it's like your mind has put something together, and finally you can get to that material abundance you've been seeking. The 9 of Pentacles is all about abundance. It's about receiving rewards for work that's been hard and difficult, and you've had to like slog through it, and now you can finally just reap the benefits of those rewards. It's a card that we associate with like self-care, and it can be associated with liberation, freedom, independence. Single and fabulous is a lot of times associated with the energy. The Ace of Pentacles, for me, is a sense that you might be planting the seeds of abundance this week. So the things that you're doing this week in particular are going to lead to quite a lot of material fulfillment. In terms of relationships, it can indicate some kind of an offer, but it's a physical, tangible offer. It's not going to be vague or indirect. It's going to be direct. It's going to be, in some cases, a gift, a ring, like something solid that you can touch. It's not going to be like a Snapchat that disappears. It's going to be a written letter, or, you know, I guess it could be like a digital letter, but something that is going to be, you can save it. You can take a screenshot of it. It's real. It's not going to just disappear once it's stated or said. So I do think that this week there is some kind of a gesture that's being made to try to reward you for the hard work that you've done in some way. Now, this could also be you giving yourself something. It doesn't have to be you getting something externally, though with Pentacles cards, we do usually talk about the external energy. Underlying the energy of that Ace of Pentacles is the Fool card, and that's giving me the fresh start vibes, of course. This is also about taking a risk or taking a leap of some kind, throwing caution to the wind, allowing yourself to just be sort of swept off that precipice that you maybe have been teetering on. If there's been hesitation here, this is like you finally feel like you need to move. And as particularly in this case, we're seeing the masculine energy is afraid of something, and the emotions here represented by the feminine, she's running from whatever this darkness is. So in the case of career or finance, this could be feeling like if you don't like start a new path for yourself, letting your emotions kind of lead you forward, that there will be something negative that will happen. So if you don't listen to your heart, in other words, you're going to be in trouble. That's the feeling that I'm getting there. For a relationship take, I would say the divine masculine is afraid that the feminine energy is going to like leap in a new direction and leave him behind. Or it could be that he's afraid of his emotions like carrying him away. But at the same time, if he stays stagnant, he has to face these demons here that are behind him. So I do see movement, motion, taking a leap, throwing caution to the wind, no longer trying to protect your feelings, and just put it all out there. I also am drawn to, I didn't mention, but this is a severed hand here, literally severed hand. And it's giving like Thing vibes from the Addams Family or from Wednesday, if you watch that show. But it is like, it's almost something tearing the masculine apart. Like, if this offer gesture isn't received well, or isn't given, like something about that could like tear them apart. I'm feeling that. Now for the feminine energy with the Strength card, and these two crocodiles that are pets of, or alligators, I think they're alligators, pets of the villain character in The Rescuers, which has the little girl Penny, and there's like the mice, and they go and try to rescue her from this woman who is using her to get this wealth. But it's interesting because normally the Strength card shows a feminine energy that's like gentling a lion. And in this case, we're seeing her pets, but her pets turn on her in the story. So they bite the hand that feeds them, kind of a thing. They don't actually have loyalty to her. They simply do for as long as she's like feeding them. But when she stops giving them what they desire, they actually turn on her. So I feel like for the feminine vibes, I'm getting definitely that independence vibes. And this feeling that like she's put a lot of strength into something. It's taken a lot to hold back. It could be like anger, frustration, fear, anxiety, whatever. It's taken her a lot to try to control that. And I do get a sense that she may be retreating a little bit into like, it's just easier to be alone. It's just easier to be by myself, because at the end of the day, all the work that I've done to like stay strong while I've waited for the fulfillment of my dreams, I've waited for a person to talk to me, I've waited for this or that. I sort of feel like I'm not being loyal to myself in doing that. And I think it might be wise to pull back from the desire to try to like have a Beauty and the Beast situation. It's sort of being like accepting that somebody is just beastly and protecting your own energy is the sense I'm getting from the feminine. So I guess this divine masculine, if we were going to do this as like a love reading, I am kind of seeing that for the masculine, it's like tearing him apart to like give something real to the feminine. But he senses that if he doesn't do that, he's going to be torn apart in another way, because she is just going to go off and do something new, go in a new direction. And the reason that he is thinking that is because the feminine energy is thinking that I'm just going to do me. I'm not going to worry about anyone else but me. I'm no longer interested in being strong and brave for someone else. I'm disloyal to myself in that process. And so I feel like there is the masculine is like savvy about that. Okay, so what are we carrying in from last week that can help or hinder us? Well, there's the Ten of Pentacles, which I didn't even know was coming up. Very interesting that it's coffins. The Ten of Pentacles for the masculine energy, and the Seven of Wands for the feminine energy. Okay, so divine masculine, material, what makes you happy in the material, turned into these coffins, the undead, kind of the vampire perhaps creeping out of here. There is something about this particular image of material happiness that is very much like all of the wealth that you have been accruing, all of this material confirmation of your the reward for your ambitions or something, in the end it doesn't amount to anything much, because everybody ends up, the great equalizer. Whether you're in a wooden box or thrown in a hole with some dirt on you, like, we're all going to that same place, and none of the trappings of this life can go with us. And there is this awareness, because it's in the mindset of that what is most important in the material, or in the moment, is to enjoy what you have around you, what you have within you, and understand that, like, everything is ephemeral, it's impermanent, it's you are dust, and to dust you shall return. The masculine is really, really aware of that right now. He created a coffin for himself, I guess, is what we're seeing. The feminine energy is in the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is all about standing your ground. It is about fighting off these 6 wands, but actually the 6 wands that you're fighting off are really an illusion. There's no one that's really holding those wands, and 6 of Wands actually represents your victory or your success. And so sometimes I will interpret the 7 of Wands as a card that's almost about sabotaging yourself because you can't let go of something. And in this image, we have it looks like the Snow White Queen. I think that's who this is. There's this path to this little house, and she is hovering over this, like, with this very intimidating energy. She uses magic for darkness in the story of Snow White, to trap her in a permanent sleep, and she also uses it to fake her youth, to, like, cover up her aging. Like, she has this vanity. There's, of course, like, the magic mirror on the wall, or mirror on the wall, depending on which parallel reality you stem from. But she, in this instance, is, like, hovering over this vision of where Snow White is actually hidden away from her, like with the 7 dwarves. So there's something about hiding your feelings, protecting yourself from your feelings, and trying to keep up appearances that I'm getting from this card. So very interesting. It's also about being on the defensive and acting offensively in order to defend yourself from what is coming. So it's like preemptively being defensive. I don't know. It's very hard for me to articulate today the energy that's being brought in, because I think to a certain extent it's extremely subtle energy. Because normally the 10 of Pentacles is like material abundance, and the 7 of Wands is like somebody that's fighting for something. But both of these cards are giving me kind of a heavier, shadowy energy. Obviously, we're using darker decks for the holiday that's about to come up. But it's not just that. There's something a little heavy that we're bringing in from last week. Let's see what the current energy is. We have the King of Wands and the Hierophant energy for the Divine Feminine. World's Greatest Boss is written on this cup. And I have to be honest, I don't know the story behind this particular card. Let me just check and see. I think I've looked at it once before and it doesn't say much, but I just want to look and see if there's anything I'm missing because I don't know that particular imagery. Oh my gosh, I'm very tired today. I apologize for yawning at you. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering, my dad's surgery has been postponed until Thursday. So I have a few more days before we have to go with him to the hospital in Syracuse and everything, and that's why I was able to do the reading today. Okay, so structure, law and order, and community are the main themes of the Hierophant Tarot card. Well, that I know. Dawn Bellwether, okay, that's who this is. Dawn Bellwether both represents and exploits those themes as an ambitious sheep who moves up Zootopia's government hierarchy to promote her own agenda. The Hierophant advises you that now isn't the time for radical ideas and rebellion. Instead, place your trust in tried and true methods and time-honored traditions. While there's a time and place for individualism, nonconformity, and rebellion, the Hierophant Tarot card is a sign that respecting convention will get you further than going your own way. When it's reversed, which I don't have reversals in this deck, so I'll look at both in case one of these two things resonates with you. It says, Assistant Mayor Dawn Bellwether is a free thinker who seeks to turn the predator-prey hierarchy of Zootopia on its head. The Hierophant, when reversed, encourages you to get inspired by Dawn Bellwether's revolutionary spirit by questioning the status quo. This is the time to think for yourself, boldly follow your heart, and blaze your own trail. Okay, now that's interesting because I'm feeling that a little bit more because of the independent streak that we're getting from the overall energy and the Seven of Wands. Because I just feel like the Seven of Wands is giving a sense of like, I have to stand up for myself. I have to do what's right for me. Again, the Strength card, like I have to be loyal to myself. I can't keep betraying myself. The feminine energy is very much aware of what needs to be protected for her. Now, the Hierophant card can also represent a commitment. So I'm getting very much a commitment to the self, to honor what is best for you, despite any opposing ideas about that. This King of Wands card for the masculine energy is about taking action and being bold. So I do think this week that is one where you are definitely standing up for yourself and doing what is best for you in a very bold way. And you're thinking about, not just thinking about, but actually taking actions that are creating for you that abundance that you are seeking. The life that you are seeking. That's what's happening this week for you. Now that can translate also to the person who you might be considering in terms of a romantic connection doing the same. Taking some action. With the Hierophant card, the Ace of Pentacles, the King of Wands, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Fool, this could definitely be about somebody who is taking a risk to ask you for a deeper level of commitment in a connection with you. So that's something that could possibly be happening for you this week. Divine Masculine, where is all of this energy going to take us? Two cards came out for the masculine energy. The Seven of Cups and the Three of Cups. Now, these two cards coming out together in a certain reading could give me a sense of, oh, I'm going to just explore all my options and have third-party energy and yada yada. But because this divine masculine energy is understanding that action needs to be taken in order to prevent the feminine energy from drifting off. To me, this is I'm choosing a specific path and reuniting and celebrating and having a good time with that path. This can mean for some that there are some of you that are choosing to go and date people. But that is going to be for somebody who has been waiting for somebody to choose them. This is like a week where you're going to be like, I'm choosing to go and do what is best for me. And that means that I'm going to be exploring all my options. But in a connection with somebody that you've been waiting for, this is for me choosing to reunite and celebrate, and leave behind the chaos of all these other relationships that may have been present for them. And the reason I say that is because a King of Wands has mastery over their sexual energy. A Knight of Wands, if this was the Knight of Wands and this came up, I would be like, this person is just going to go explore their options like in a shallow negative way. But this indicates for me personally a monogamous king, somebody that has explored they've sowed their wild oats, and they understand now exactly what it is that they desire, and they know who they want to choose and that they want to make that decision or choice. But for those of you that have not had the luxury of exploring a lot of other options and have been maybe waiting for somebody, the feminine energy, the emotions this week are very much a feeling of like, I need to do what's best for me. It's not best for me to wait for somebody that's never going to come, that's going to go explore other options and everything, when I know what I want and need for myself is somebody that chooses me, and there's no question about that in their mind. And if this person isn't the one, then I need to go meet somebody who is. So that's coming up for relationship connection. It can also apply to the job market. It could be that like you are ready to have you could become a solopreneur, like, or just go into business for yourself this week. Take that risk, take that leap. Recognize that like the financial security that you get from your current job is an illusion, especially when your heart and soul is being crushed in that process, and you want to look for either a new job, or go explore other options you might have in career, or you know exactly what you want to do and you want to just decide to do that this week and like choose that path that you want to go on. Maybe it's not traditional, maybe it's not like everyone else, but you don't care. That's not important to you. For the feminine energy of where this is all going, we have the Eight of Wands. So this is a fast moving energy. This is not something you're going to hesitate about. This is something you're just going to go for. It's about going with the flow. And it's also about really expressing what you desire, actually putting it out there and saying exactly what your needs are. So in terms of if you're deciding to like date or explore connections, you are very upfront about what you're seeking and what you're open to receiving and what you're not open to receiving. If this is the energy of a connection, then I'm seeing that decision or choice is leading to a conversation, which will get things moving at a faster pace. Alrighty, and for our oracle cards for this week, our spirit animal that's with us this week is peacock spirit. Let it shine, and that heart chakra is wide open. So you're really feeling things, allowing yourself to feel and expressing feelings this week. And Peacock Spirit is supporting you in that energy. And the message is, when is the last time you shook a tail feather and shined your light for all to see? Within each of us is a peacock spirit yearning for expression, and you are called now to show the world the gorgeous creature you are. For you are a manifestation of spirit. Come out from the shadows, Peacock Spirit says, and show your true colors so that others may be inspired to express their own exquisiteness. Dance as if you remember that you are made of stardust and grace, filled with life force, energy, and sparkling light. You are a channel for divine love, and your dance is one of a kind. Catch the light and help it to shimmer, and dance in celebration of your good fortune of being right here, right now. Spirit wants you to be joyful so that others may get up and dance along with you. So yeah, this is putting it all out there for sure. Expressing yourself, not fearing what others think, being bold, being rebellious if you need to be in order to be able to be who you know you are, and not really worry too much about what other people are thinking about you, because that is so irrelevant. That really does not matter. And you are also getting spider spirit right now, and or the spider card rather, from the Samhain oracle. And this says, "What a wild web we weave, dear child, a delicious mystery untamed." And this message is, the keywords are mystery and growth. And it says, "Spider is one of the ultimate animal manifestors. However, she doesn't go out and force what she wants. She doesn't obsess over when she'll catch something in her weave. She casts her net and allows the powers that be to the time and space to bring something into her web. True manifestation isn't about wishing. It's about planting your seeds with that Ace of Pentacles and trusting them to grow into something worthwhile. Spider has come crawling into your spread to remind you to cast your weave, then give it time to catch your prey. Spirit is asking you to give the wish me a car stuff a break. Set your intentions, but then let them go. Don't obsess about how long it's taking your intention to come to life or your spell to work. Focusing on getting your way only draws attention to the fact that you do not have it. That is the space where doubt creeps in, and doubt is the destroyer of magic. Trying to take control of how something will come to you may be the very thing that keeps your goal from happening. Remember, the powers that be are smarter than you. They know all, see all, and know the best path to take. It might take longer, but what if you discovered something you didn't even know you needed or wanted along the way? You have pulled this card because there are gifts that you have left untapped. Each person has many gifts. Some are small gifts and others are enormous gifts that can change the world. We all have some of both. You have such gifts waiting to be explored, especially creative gifts. Creativity does not have to mean painting or sculpture. There are several ways to be creative, and you are being called to discover these things now. Trust yourself and follow the signs to discovering your creative talents. So that is the energy of this week. And we have our Thoth Tarot card, which I will now be reading an extended reading for passes.com/pearlsprayers. Readers, we will be reading the Two of Cups question that came out and the ones that come out here for this card today, which is the Prince of Swords. So let's take a look at the Prince of Swords, which is similar to a knight energy in this deck. Or, no, my bad. It is the king, rather. It's similar to a king energy. So King of Swords would be, like, synonymous with this card. Okay. It says, being air in air, the Prince of Swords is the pure manifestation of mind and intellect, full of plans and ideas which on the worst side may disturb and confuse each other. On the best, create an inexhaustible spring of creative thoughts. The Prince of Swords is intelligent, idealistic, full of creativity and fluidity, a real Mercurian spirit who often will argue just for the fondness of arguing, and not so much for the arguments themselves. The Prince of Swords can throw himself head over heels into a scientific research, reaching highest levels within a short time, and then throw away without further notice because something else appears more interesting at the moment. On the dark side, the Prince of Swords lacks both the qualities of water and earth. He can easily become unstable, unreliable, and extremely moody, using his amount of intelligence to trick himself through life, becoming a master of disguise and cheat. On a day ruled by the Prince of Swords, it will be our inner world we need to direct our attention towards. We need to study our thoughts and allow them the time to extend. Too often a thought crosses our mind and we are unable to give that thought the room to grow and develop until it achieves its maximum potential. And because this happens very often, we fail to live up to ourselves too. So try to set time aside for quiet inner contemplation when the Prince of Swords is having an influence. Think about your own opinions on given topics, not necessarily personal ones, but more general issues as well. You know how often we fail to converse with ourselves, even to the extent that we converse with our acquaintances. We take for granted what we think and what we know, even though our opinions may not have been revised in years. As constantly growing individuals, our opinions certainly will change on some subjects, and if we don't give ourselves the time to check them out every now and again, we can become alienated from our own development. This can lead to all kinds of problems. See the 8, 9, and 10 of Swords for examples of these problems. The drive of this card is idealism, intellectual agility. The light is creativity, which we just talked about with the spider card, rich ideas, intelligence, mastery of words. The shadow is harsh, malicious, unreliable, cheating, and crude behaviors. The keywords are airborne aspect of the air, creative thinking, cutting through all complex backwards issues, getting rid of limited thoughts and models, and clear perception. The advice is to free your mind and soul from all barriers, but be sure that you express your thoughts and plans so that others can understand them. Accept their opinions humbly. Your thoughts may be ahead of your age, but you can adjust them to the situation so that your vision works in the present without sacrificing anything. The question is, what beliefs, feelings, relationships, or programmed thoughts do you allow to limit? And your suggestion is make a list of the factors that limit your life, either internally or externally, and choose the ones you want to get rid of now. The revelation is the limits of my creative potential are only those in which I believe in myself. And the affirmation is I look within and grow to understand myself. I strongly encourage you to write those things down when I read them to you each week in these readings. So I will be answering the question associated with the Two of Cups, and then I will also be answering this question of what beliefs, feelings, relationships, or programmed thoughts, and I'm going to probably pull a card for each one of those things, do you allow you to limit? So we're going to have to define that question a little more, but that's going to be the extended healing energy that I'm going to do for passes.com/Pearls Prayers subscribers. If you want to try a subscription for free, the first month is free when you sign up. And you'll be able to have access to all of the extended content that's there. And there is frequently I do post things that are completely free for anybody that's following, so you can go check my profile page there to see all the content that is available to you, even if you're not subscribing. And if you don't want to subscribe to a monthly subscription, if there's ever an extended reading that you just really feel you need to see, you can of course purchase the extended reading too. And all of those proceeds from subscriptions to purchasing readings help to support and sustain my channel. You might notice I don't have advertising, and I'd like to be able to keep my channel that way so that you don't have to be interrupted by lots of ads. But I do need some way to sustain my energy so I can do these things. So thank you so very much. I hope I will see you in a few days. I do not know if I will be doing a Friday reading this week because my dad's surgery is Thursday. It is unlikely that I will be able to bring you a Friday reading on Friday, so it may just be postponed to Saturday, assuming everything goes okay with my dad's surgery. Thank you so very much for all of your thoughts and prayers, and I will see you all very soon. Take care.